Hi there, my name is Ash and I like to draw. But can you guess what else I like to do? I like to play
spooky video games!
No, seriously, I play like a lot of horror games. And I especially like to play a lot of indie horror games. What can I say? I'm a horror nut. And I just feel like smaller studios and DIY creators are much more free to come up with fun, spooky ideas, and I like to see how they bring them to life. In fact, if you would like to watch me play some of these spooky games, you can find my Let's Play channel by clicking the card in the corner of this video. But, just be aware that that channel isn't exactly family friendly. Obviously. Anyway, with the rise of the so-called mascot horror genre of spooky games, where the focus lies more on strange and often colorful-looking villains, indie horror gaming has seen a huge rise of various interesting characters. So in the interest of the spooky season, I've been drawing some characters from some of these games that I've played and enjoyed recently, and you're gonna watch me draw 3. But the trick is that each drawing is gonna be more elaborate than the last. So, you guys ready for some spooky drawings? Are you prepared for some potential game spoilers? Great! Then let's go! To start us off, we have Bonnie from Bonnie's Bakery, developed by Melty Clown Studios. If you're not familiar, Bonnie's Bakery starts out as a cute little restaurant manager, where you play as Bonnie, who serves sweets to cute animal characters, including the worryingly named Meat Bun. Soon enough though, you then switch to playing as a captive in Bonnie's basement, where she keeps her ingredients, namely the very same animals she has for customers. And after you escape, the game then changes again, letting you actually play as Bonnie, catching new ingredients for her restaurant. Now, as you can see, it is a very cute and colorful game, and even the horror aspects have been kept very cartoony and lighthearted, all things considered. And I mean, killer or not, it's hard to deny that Bonnie is pretty freaking adorable, right? So, let's get drawing. I gotta say, I really like Bonnie as a character. I adore the animal theming of her design, even without the bunny mask she wears when she goes bonking. Her name, the bow that evokes bunny ears, the adorable little carrot bow tie, it all comes together wonderfully, I think. Now, you'll notice that I did draw her crying under the mask despite the cutesy pose, and there's a couple of reasons for that. For one thing, she gets this hilarious transformation sequence in the game when she dresses up to go killing, so I just had to draw an overly cute pose. The tears running down her cheeks, though, those are a little bit more for creative liberty on my part. See, when I first played the game, back before the hunting part was even added, I felt that when Bonnie spots you in the basement, her face doesn't really look evil or angry or sadistic. To me at least, it looks more scared and worried. Now that expression tells me that either she doesn't actually like what she's doing but sees it as necessary somehow, or she's very deep in denial and she lets her cutesy Bonnie personality take over so she doesn't actually have to deal with it. Now, the later hunting segment kind of tells a different story since we see Bonnie carefully planning her attacks, but the game seems to also be saying that this is how her crimes look through her eyes. Like it's all been filtered into some adorable cartoon where you can't really take what happens seriously. And as for the upcoming content update, I obviously haven't played it yet, so I'm just gonna have to work with what I got and look like an idiot when it turns out I'm wrong, I guess. Anyway, I found the idea that she's not fully in conscious control of herself interesting, so I wanted to communicate that through the drawing. And I like to think I did that pretty well with her expression. I also couldn't help but add the blood patter like frosting behind her. I always thought that was a clever touch to the game's logo. And there she is! That was a quick and easy one. But that's only 1 out of 3 drawings, so we're not done yet. I think next we should take a walk down a familiar-looking street. My Friendly Neighborhood is a first-person horror shooter developed by John and Evan Szymanski. Here you play as a grouchy cable repairman named Gordon, who gets called to an old TV station when the children's puppet show My Friendly Neighborhood is suddenly broadcast to all TVs in the city. And once he gets there, the place turns out to be positively crawling with murderous puppets. Just another day at work. Obviously, this is a horror take on Sesame Street and other Jim Henson productions, and if you happen to be a Muppet fan playing this game, I urge you to stop and look at some of the posters on the walls. Believe me, they're good for a couple laughs. Now, my personal favorite puppet in the game is Junebug. She's cute, alright? But the real face of the game is their Ernie character Norman, so that's who we're gonna be drawing today. To me, the most important part of mascot horror is coming up with a character that both looks believable as a character intended for kids, but is also a little bit scary. And I feel like a lot of games either take a shortcut by giving the character a true demonic form, or just lean too hard on either side of this balance. But as far as I'm concerned, the Neighborhood puppets absolutely nail it. They all look perfectly lovable as possible Muppets, but they still have an air of menace to them. And it took me a bit of time to figure out why that is. You wanna know the secret? It's all in their hands and their eyes. And the fact that they're living 6-foot-tall puppets that have no puppeteers and run at you screaming nonsense, but, also the hands and the eyes. Seriously, take a look at how small these puppets' pupils are, and then look at how big they are in actual Muppets. In the game, the puppets aren't really evil per se, they've just seen things they weren't ready to process and have snapped as a result, and tiny pupils communicate that really well. So to lean into that, I made my pupils extra tiny, and I went ahead and made Norman's hair a little spikier and more unkempt as well. And notice how the puppets don't have these dopey mitten hands that you usually see on Muppets. They have 5-fingered, slightly too human-looking hands that give them a very grabby vibe when they run at you in the game. These might seem like very small and minute details, but they really do a great job at putting you just a little bit on edge around these puppets. Norman in particular is also by far the most intimidating looking of the regular puppets, since he's supposed to look kind of like a jock, and has been given huge arms to play on that. I mean, this dude looks like he can freaking bench. So to make him look even more threatening, I gave him this hunched over pose, as if he just finished punching someone to the ground and just spotted a new target to play with. And since in the game you fight the puppets by shooting letters at them, I put a few in there to imply that he just got shot and didn't even flinch. And as far as the result goes, well, I sure wouldn't want to walk down the hallways of an old movie studio and then run into that thing. Would you? Now let's finish things off with a drawing of a character from a game that I believe deserves way more recognition. And that game is Fear the Spotlight. Fear the Spotlight is a third-person horror game developed by Cozy Game Pals. In it, you play as a girl named Vivian who gets transported to a past version of her school in an attempt to rescue her friend Amy, who has been taken captive by a freaky-looking dude with a stage light for a head. It's a short but damn fine game and essentially plays like a trimmed-down Silent Hill game for late teens and young adults. Just, you know, with a lot less running around like a headless chicken desperately trying to find that one item or puzzle clue that you missed 3 hours ago. Seriously, I highly urge you to check this game out. It's really well done, and the story does actually go some pretty creepy places. Now, characters with different objects for heads aren't exactly new in horror. I mean, Siren Head and the TV head guys from Yuppie Psycho come to mind. But I feel like Spotlight Head works especially well because he has a highly visible field of vision that makes you feel caught when he sees you. It's like there's only one other set of eyes at that entire school. And those eyes are looking right at you. Added that a horrible fire seems to follow everywhere he goes, his voice and the way he otherwise looks like a normal dude who got burned and beaten up, and, well, you have a character design that really tells a story. So since the whole game is about feeling chased and watched, that's what I wanted to capture. I drew the piece in first person to sell the idea that Spotlight is walking through the halls looking for you. I also completely shamelessly stole the pose from the M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs, but shh. That's our little secret. The head alone took a while to draw since I goofed up and drew it rectangular in the sketch when it's actually round in game, so there was a bit of fixing to do. From there, the rest of him was easy, a normal looking dude in basic tattered clothing. I basically wanted him to look like that perfectly nice but pretty boring teacher that I'm sure we've all had. While the background does mainly consist of American school lockers, I tried to make it a little more interesting by adding a torn up, clearly low effort anti-bullying banner that you actually see somewhere else in the game. Or something similar to it at least. I have unfortunately had my own experiences with half-hearted surface-level anti-bullying campaigns like these, so this was kinda like my little jab at that kind of stuff. Plus I think it adds a little bit of humorous irony to the fact that you're at a school and running away from someone who's actually trying to kill you. Once the base colors were down, it all came down to lighting. The guys have stage lights, so we need to see that light searching for us. And the light really needs to feel like it could burn, since the character is associated with fire. I did also try to add some fire by his feet like in the game, but in hindsight I probably should have gone a little more wild with it. Slather him up with plenty of blood and soot and some grainy textures, and voila! There's the Spotlight, ready to make you fear it. And you know, looking at these three side by side, I'm pretty happy with the overall results. I think they're delightfully different and fun. But let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. I really hope you like the drawings, but seriously, check out some of the games I talked about in this video, as well as some of the other ones I play over on my Let's Play channel. Because believe me, there is plenty of good stuff out there for a hungry horror fan, as long as you're willing to go looking for it. But with that said, enjoy your Halloween, stay safe out there, and try not to choke on the candy. And I will see you next time. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing me draw some spooky characters. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and leave a comment about some of your own favorite indie horror games. You can also support me on Patreon or join my Discord server if you're interested. Links to both are in the description below. If you want to see me play some of these games, you can go to my Let's Play channel, or you can check out my media review channel for more detailed videos on weird and obscure media. Thanks again for watching, have a great Halloween, and I'll see you in the next art video. Bye bye.